Yeah, I haven't said this in a while, but I'm going to say it. I'm spoiling y'all. I'm spoiling you. Number one, I rarely do videos on Saturday, but I did a video 2 weeks in a row on a Saturday. And similarly, I rarely do videos on Sunday. Most of my videos are usually recorded between Mondays and Thursdays. Mondays and Thursdays are my normal days for doing videos, whether it's free YouTube videos or Patreon exclusive videos. But I don't do too many videos on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. But now I'm giving you a video 2 days in a row. Now, I'm a big NFL fan, so some people might be saying, Alan, why aren't you watching the NFL games right now? Well, number one, my Chicago Bears don't play until tomorrow. So that's one reason. My Bears don't play until tomorrow. They play Monday Night Football. Although I am watching the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Baltimore Ravens. And the Kansas City Chiefs got a powerful offense that Baltimore can't stop. Speaking of NFL football, I ain't gotten asked a few questions over the last week, maybe even week and a half, about an NFL player named Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown. He used to be a wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then he briefly signed with the Oakland Raiders. Then he signed with the New England defending Super Bowl champion New England Patriots. And they released him just a few days ago because of some text messages he sent a woman who has accused him of sexual harassment, sexual misconduct. And the simple question I've been asked is, Alan, just a couple people asked me, Alan, what are your general thoughts on the Antonio Brown situation? And more specifically, I've had guys ask me, Alan, do you think your Mode 1 approach could have prevented all this drama that Antonio Brown is experiencing? Now, even I'm going to preface this by saying that's not necessarily a stupid question or a dumb question, but at minimum, I got to give at least a lighthearted dog face for asking that question. Insert dog face here. Of course, if he was Mode 1, it would have prevented. Let me break it down to you, for those who you don't know. I know a lot of my international clients probably don't even know who the hell Antonio Brown is, and they don't really keep up with American football. Matter of fact, most international people think American football is wimpy. It's not representative of real football because they don't really use their feet. What they call football, what international guys call football, we call soccer, which is offensive to them. I remember when I was in Germany, I used the term soccer, man. I got so many evil looks. Yeah, international guys hate the term soccer. They call that football. What we call soccer, they call football. And what we call football, they call a wimpy man's game. But that's another story for another day. Antonio Brown is stupid. Nah. He's dumb. I mean, I'm going to tell y'all something, man. I'm just keep it real, man. And somebody said this to me way back in like February, March. Somebody said in my comment section, one of my videos, they said, Alan, when you really think about it, wouldn't you have to agree that the MeToo movement has the potential to give a boom to your business, your Mode 1 approach? You know, because some guys have asked me, Alan, do you think the Mode 1 approach is too risky given the current Me Too movement environment? But the reality is I feel just the opposite. And at least a few of my followers have pointed it out. They're like, shoot, Alan, to me, the Me Too movement opens the door for your Mode 1 approach to truly flourish. And I agree with that. I agree with that. Man, when I analyze, honestly, probably no less than 95% of the men's situations that have been targeted by the MeToo movement, I've come to the conclusion it could have been prevented if those guys had exhibited Mode 1 behavior. Recently on videos, I was talking about the 5 general methods of getting women in bed. The 5 general methods of getting women in bed, which again would be attraction, seduction, dishonesty and manipulation, financial negotiation, and coercion. If you analyze the vast majority of the men who've been targeted by the MeToo movement, I would argue that none of them have fallen in the category of attraction. I don't think any of them have fallen in the category of seduction, although there might be 2 or 3. But generally, I would say hardly any of them have fallen in the category of seduction. But probably like 98, 99% of them have fallen into one of these 3 categories. Have fallen either in the category of coercion, would probably be the number 1 category that most of the men who've been targeted by the MeToo movement have fallen into. Their method of getting a woman in bed, falling in the method of coercion, which includes rape, date rape, some form of sexual assault. I would even throw in exposing your genitals to a woman in the category of coercion. A lot of men be guilty of that. So out of the 5 categories of getting women in bed, the number 1 category that most men who've been targeted by the MeToo movement have fallen under has been coercion. Coercion. Second most category, I would say, is dishonesty and manipulation. Dishonest, misleading, and manipulative behavior. Yep, a lot of guys who've been targeted by the MeToo movement have fallen into that category. And third would be financial negotiation, which would also include not just offering a woman money for sex, but offering a woman like an employment opportunity or a job promotion in exchange for sexual companionship. Like the guy from CBS. What's his name? I'm forgetting. Leslie Moonves, who I highlighted in a video a couple weeks ago. Leslie Moonves would be a classic example of somebody who would fall in the category of financial negotiation, and he lost $120 million. He's worse than Antonio Brown. He lost $120 million because he wasn't Mode 1. $120 million. You could say Antonio Brown, I think, has lost somewhere between 25 to 30 million. But yeah, Leslie Moonves, former chief of CBS, he lost $120 million because of his failure to be Mode 1. I love the Me Too movement. Yeah, quote me on that. Yeah, I said it. You ain't gonna find too many heterosexual men that's gonna say that. I do, because of the nature of my work, the contents of my books, and the nature of my dating coaching. I love the Me Too movement. Why? And I've pointed this out at least once, if not twice before. Why do I love it? Because the Me Too movement has exposed men who try to get, who essentially either try to force women to give them some pussy. It has exposed men who try to force women to give them some pussy. Or at minimum, it exposes men who try to, what I call, sneak into a woman's pants. Sneak into a woman's pants. Anytime you're being indirect with women, you use indirect methods such as dishonesty and manipulation. That means you're trying to sneak into a woman's pants. You're not being direct. Now, there is one, I pointed this out in a recent video. There's another form of being indirect that doesn't necessarily involve just blatant dishonesty or blatant manipulation. And that, of course, is what I call Mode 2 behavior. Mode 2 behavior. Mode 2 behavior would fall in the category of indirect game, but on the positive end, it does not involve a man being blatantly dishonest or being blatantly misleading and manipulative. The general nature of Mode 2 behavior, to give you a reminder, refresher, Mode 2 is when you exhibit behavior that's a combination of overly polite, overly cautious, vague and ambiguous, and sexually duplicitous. Overly polite, overly cautious, vague and ambiguous, beat around the bush, and sexually duplicitous. If I had to highlight someone who's been targeted by the MeToo movement who would fall in the category of Mode 2, would be Aziz Ansari. Aziz Ansari. He was Mode 2. Now, on the positive end, and I pointed this out on a number of videos before, Aziz, he didn't do anything illegal. He didn't rape a woman. He didn't date rape a woman. He didn't try to drug a woman or get her drunk and take advantage of her. He didn't just blatantly expose his genitals to a woman or grope a woman. Yeah, a lot of men have been guilty of groping women without their consent. Here's what Aziz was guilty of, if nothing else, was being sexually duplicitous. In what way? Here's what he did to give you a reminder. And again, I've discussed this situation on at least 3 or 4 videos. What Aziz Ansari did was he invited a woman out on a dinner date. And on the dinner date, he acted like an innocent, wholesome, polite gentleman. He treated that date like it was just an innocent, friendly date. But then when he took the woman back to his apartment, he became this kinky, sexually aggressive, kinky freak. Now, is that against the law? No. But still, it's sexually duplicitous. Aziz should have told that woman straight up, hey, I want to fuck you. Now, he didn't even have to use the word fuck. He could have said, I'm looking to be intimate with you. I'm looking to exchange orgasms with you. The reason why I want to spend time with you this evening is because I want to be physically intimate with you and exchange orgasms with you. See, that didn't involve any profanity, any X-rated language. That's what Aziz Ansari could have said to that woman. And she, at that point, she could have said yeah or nay. But no, he exhibited Mode 2 behavior. And again, he wasn't guilty of anything illegal, but his reputation, his image and reputation got trashed because he was sexually duplicitous. Another person who got targeted, if only briefly, by the MeToo movement that really didn't do anything illegal or truly unethical was Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman, he didn't attempt to lie to a woman to get him in bed. He didn't grope any women. He didn't expose his genitals to any women. He didn't try to rape or date rape any women. He didn't try to get women drunk or in bed. But if he was guilty of nothing else, was he engaged in what's known as innocent flirting. Innocent flirting. And the problem with his brand of innocent flirting is that he used very R-rated, X-rated, and triple X-rated language. And he got called out on it. I remember when I used to write a post on this message board called AskMan.com, one of my most controversial posts was a post I wrote called Why Men Shouldn't Engage in Innocent Flirting. It's a waste of fucking time. What is innocent flirting? Innocent flirting is basically when you're flirting with a woman that you're not genuinely trying to date or fuck. You're just flirting with her kind of as entertainment, just to pass the time. That's what's generally known as innocent flirting. Innocent flirting is when you're saying something flirtatious to a woman, even though you're really not trying to date her and you're really not trying to fuck her. Well, my attitude is if you're not trying to date a woman, you're not trying to fuck a woman, why are you flirting with her? Why? Why? And if you are genuinely interested in dating a woman or fucking a woman, why aren't you being Mode 1? Why? 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 So, as much as I love and respect Morgan Freeman, man, I can't give him a total pass on what he did. You know, you can argue that was kind of unfair for him to be targeted by the Me Too movement compared to people like Harvey Weinstein, who I talked about yesterday. But still, man, Morgan Freeman should know better, man. What is he innocently flirting with women using R-rated, X-rated, and triple X-rated language for? If by his own admission he wasn't genuinely trying to fuck these women, then why are you flirting with them then? See, this is how I protect myself. You might have, if you were a fan of the Dave Chappelle show that used to be on Comedy Central, he had a skit about a sex contract. A sex contract. And even though he made light of it and talked, did a skit that was comedic in nature, I actually, if anybody knows me, and women who've dealt with me already know this is how I roll, dude, I'm all about consent. Because we're living in an age where consent is preeminent. That's what the MeToo movement is all about, man, is motherfuckers trying to get the pussy without getting consent first. That's what it all comes down to. When you boil it down to the nitty-gritty, the MeToo movement is all about targeting men who are trying to get laid without getting consent first. Do you know, I've actually had men over the years, including some of my close friends and frat brothers, they purposely said they don't want to get consent. I've had guys tell me, they said, Alan, that takes the fun out of fucking a woman if you got to get consent first. I tell you, well-known dating coach who said that was Paul Janka. There's a guy named Paul Janka who actually said that when I interviewed him on Blog Talk Radio. He said in so many words, he said, that takes the fun out of fucking a woman if you got to get consent first. I know a lot of guys who feel that way. I've had some of my followers say that to me over the years. I've had even close friends of mine or fraternity brothers of mine who've said that. They said, man, I don't really want to fuck a woman if I got to get consent first. Okay, take your chances. I say to the men who feel that way, take your chances. Like, did you see that BDSM video I did for women? Even though I shared it with some men, but I did a BDSM video for women and who were interested in the BDSM lifestyle. Those two women who were in that video with me, I had them both sign contracts, consent contracts. Before I start filming anything, they had to sign consent contracts. They had to sign on a contract that they were giving me their consent for me to sexually dominate them and use triple X-rated explicit language with them and just generally interact with them in a physical and sexual manner. They had to sign a contract. I basically was like, if you don't sign this contract, I ain't filming shit. Because see, that's how I protect myself. See, now because they've signed a contract, they can't come weeks later or months later or years later down the line and say, hey, I filmed this video with Alan Currie. He tried to date rape me. When the camera wasn't rolling, he tried to date rape me. No, they can't say that shit. They signed a contract. Secondly, related to that contract, because I operate in the BDSM lifestyle, I'm all about 2 safe words. If anybody's familiar with the BDSM lifestyle, they know there's 2 safe words you operate on if you truly into the BDSM lifestyle. And that's red/strawberries or yellow/banana. If you're not committed to adhering to those safe words, then you're not truly involved in the BDSM lifestyle. So like, if you got a fuck buddy or a girlfriend and you're dominating her, but y'all don't use any type of safe words, y'all don't agree to use any type of safe words, then you're not really protected. You're not really protected. If that woman really wanted to fuck with you and be vindictive, if y'all was to have a falling out, she could say, hey, I never gave him permission to piss in my mouth. I never gave him permission to slap the shit out of me. See, like with my girlfriend, we have BDSM elements in our relationship. She knows that at any time she can use safe words. Red or strawberries, that means stop. That's the BDSM equivalent to stop. I'm uncomfortable with what's going on. I want you to stop. That's red or strawberry. That means like in the BDSM world, stop or no doesn't mean shit. For a woman to say, stop it, no, quit, stop. That don't mean shit in the BDSM world. If a woman says no or stop it, that don't mean shit. But if a woman says red, I don't care what you're doing. You could be fucking in the middle of fucking a woman doggy style. If she says red, you are to stop at that moment. The secondary purpose of red is if somebody enters the room that's not familiar with the BDSM lifestyle. So like say me and my girlfriend were being sexual if only verbally, and her mother walked in the room unexpectedly. My girlfriend might say strawberries. That means for me not to be dominating her verbally in front of her mother, because her mother might not understand the ins and outs of the BDSM lifestyle. Yellow means I don't want you to stop, but I want you to tone stuff down. I want you to tone stuff down. I don't want you to stop, but I want you to tone down either the harshness of your verbal domination or the harshness of your physical domination. That's what yellow or bananas means. It means I want you not to stop, but just to tone it down a bit. The harshness of either your verbal domination and or your physical domination. I'm all about consent contracts. My girlfriend, she signed a BDSM contract, consent contract. I don't fuck women unless they do one or two things. Either at maximum, sign a contract, or at bare minimum, they give me verbal consent that I'm free to record like on my phone or something. Like that's one reason why I have phone sex with women, is so I can get them to give me verbal consent. We living in the age of consent. You got to protect yourself. Antonio Brown didn't do that. He's stupid. He's stupid. Keep going, MeToo. MeToo is going to benefit me financially, because Mo 1 is where it's at in the 21st century. This is the age of consent. And in my Patreon exclusive portion, I'm going to discuss a few movies. Blue Valentine, Chasing Amy, and the upcoming movie Joker. Join me in my Patreon exclusive portion.